Do a lot of testing on these devices to make sure they won't fail. What they use for testing is something called an ESD simulator or a gun. Here is a 25 kilovolt discharge to a grounded box. The gun here simulates a human finger. Always be careful with your tools. Now, they usually zap a completely assembled unit, but sometimes it's also beneficial to zap a bare board like this one and see what happens on the actual board. Okay, let me show you how well it works. First, without the anti-pair. The device may often false trigger. The belt is very hard to open. It's made of very durable material, resistance to sharp objects, and it cannot be cut. So you will run until the batteries die or you die. Just kidding, we have never had failed batteries. Please don't hurt anyone, including yourself. The wires at this end are tied together in pairs, as you can see, and each pair is attached to one of these cables, which we can plug them into the wall power plug. Please join me for the first time to hear how it sounds. And 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to run an electrohydraulic system of this car battery for you. I just tighten these nuts here. Always be careful not to short your car battery. Now I connected these cables to the battery, and all I want to do is to pass them under. If I can just pass these cables under the table here. Always finish your wiring before connecting to your power supply. Now instead I'm going to use my power limited supply up here that will drive this pump that's made of this DC brushed motor here, and it's going to run fluid into the cylinder back here that will move it around. Now I enable the power supply. Always double check your connections. Here I've opened the camera, but the first thing to remember is that there are a lot of bits and pieces and small and large screws that go in the camera. So always remember what those were and store them nicely to avoid losing them. Now let's take a look at the camera here. There are a number of electronic circuits in the camera, and there are connectors everywhere, like this one, a connector here, two connectors there, one connector here. This is actually a connector, and if you can see, there is a connector under the connector here. And if I flip the camera, and you can see the lens here, and if I remove the lens, you'll see the giant flash capacitor back here. Ow! Piece of shit! But right now I'm touching the wires and I can't even feel it because the voltage is not high enough. Who's this? No, I'm not Steve. Wrong number. There is a capacitor on this circuit that's responsible for the timing. And you can see a tiny negative sign beside it. That means that that side needs to be connected to ground or negative. Put the bullet in, and there's a switch here that acts like a trigger. So here we go. Well, it's always wise to aim away from yourself. So let's try again. Put the bullet in. Wow! And you're ready to go. That a strong drill battery can take care of. This baby is 12 volts compared to the two AA's that are 3 volts total. It's gonna give it the oomph that it needs. Okay, let's power it up. I better do this one quickly. I better do stupid shit that you will regret for the rest of your life.